Should be good to go.
All right.
Yep. Should be good.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. All right, let's give it a countdown in
Oh,
five.
you need to put in those chats because I'm not in those chats no more.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, I'm ready.
I got you. Countdown in five, four, three, two, and one. What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us here on the Welcome On Podcast. I'm your host, Famously Garden. And joined by my co-host Q.
What it do? What it do?
And in today's episode, we're going to talk about SEC Media Day, South Carolina. Shane Beamer took to the podium today to talk a little SEC football and, what the season, how the season went last year and what's to come this year. Lenora Sellers was on the trip, Nick Barrett, and, of course, DQ Smith, the three that were picked for SEC Media Days. Kind of surprised, one of them at least. I kind of thought Jalen Kilgore might be on that list, but it's all good, man. We got a lot of great guys out there representing South Carolina as they did out there in Atlanta, down at the College Football Hall of Fame, a cathedral of, if you love college football, you've never been out there, it is amazing, a really cool spot to check out. Rasul Faison has not received any information yet. Shane Beamer remains hopeful that it could potentially come this week. Post Courier did put out an article, I believe it was July 4th, July 5th, that an answer was coming on that following Wednesday. And well, unfortunately, that did not happen. So Q and I will discuss that a little bit more. And of course, recruiting. South Carolina gets an official information on Landon Duckworth. He will commit to said school on Friday, this Friday at 6 p.m. We'll bring that up. And, just as baseball ends, the draft is finally passed in South Carolina. Well, they'll probably not have a few guys that will make it to campus. So, a lot of things going on, Q. A lot of things going on. But first, Q, obviously, the serious topic of discussion that led off from last week. Rizal Faison. Still not hearing anything. Still not hearing anything. And I got to tell you, you and I, we've talked about this off air. And for Gamecock Central 247 to not really ever have anything, but all of a sudden the Post Courier did, we kind of thought that was funny, right? We always thought there was something there to that and why that was. And that day, look, Gamecock Central said, hey, it may not be today. And then JC Sherman of 247, Big Spur, straight up said, hey, it's not going to be today. And that was at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. that morning that decision was going to come. And I'm going to tell you, I put out a tweet about it, and I had not one but two players that are waiting on the NCAA that have nothing to do with South Carolina athletics, by the way, that told me their story and the bullshit that they're dealing with. And it is absolutely insane that these kids are going through what they're going through. Because it's not just Rizal Faison. It's not just those two other kids that I spoke with. There are multiple kids waiting to hear an answer from the NCAA. It's a joke. And I really do feel for these kids after hearing from other individuals and their stories about the things that they're going through right now. After moving, some of them moving across the country, by the way, not having the funds to go after the NCAA like some schools may. I feel bad for them. Q, this is a joke.
I mean, I think the bigger issue I have with this situation is the NCAA is able to take their time and do this. I think that's where I have like a bigger concern, bigger issue. I have a lot more, I don't know how I feel about this situation because the NCAA has really taken their time and done what they're doing. Now, with that being said, we never knew when Razul Faison's situation was going to be resolved. We were never told a day. I don't know why the Courier chose to do that. I cannot. I am not them. I can't explain it. That is not my story to tell. I will say this though. With Shane saying that he feels like it would be this week, and with some of the things that's going on, could I see it being this week? Sure. Um, am I holding my breath to think it's going to be a good result? Not really. I don't really trust the NCAA. I know I haven't trusted them in a while, and I mean that's just me being honest, me being who I am with the situation.
Sure.
But what I will say is, if I'm Faison, I'm 100% suing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm suing. I'm suing without a shadow of a doubt. And that's that on that. I don't know what the next steps is for him, but I'm 100% suing if I'm him.
Yeah. And I don't blame you. And I would do the same if I was Faison. I would do the same if I was any of these kids. I mean, this is just it's ridiculous. It gets to a point where if you didn't file your paperwork by a certain time, okay, I understand there's going to be a longer delay. But for most of these kids, they are well up front and been up front of this
Mhm.
situation and out front of this situation the whole time. And for the NCAA not to act on this, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's another thing to put in the web of the NCAA that makes no sense, that has caused more harm to good than anything else. And it's a travesty. It's a
I agree.
travesty to college athletics. It's just awful. It's awful. So I hope a resolution comes soon for every one of them involved. You know, I mean, as fans, we look at it, we're like,
I
hey,
agree.
we want this kid to play. We want this kid to play. It goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than that. For a guy like Faison, he could have gotten ready to go to the NFL instead, right? So
I agree.
it's just
I agree.
it's extremely frustrating, Q. It's extremely frustrating. But while we're on the side of the
I
things with
agree.
the NCAA, NIL, and all that fun stuff, August 1st, it's a significant announcement. It's a big date. A lot of people don't understand why. Q, I'm going to let you explain why August 1st is such a big date that is coming here in the next few weeks and why it matters.
So essentially, I know a lot of you have seen the Pete article, and essentially what you're going to have to find out is if these deals are real or not. A lot of these kids will get official things about their, letters and all that other stuff, and this is where you start getting into, are some of these deals able to be cleared or they're not. The clearinghouse is still going through a lot, and there's a lot of deals that's already been declined. I don't know how deep or in tune it is. Like, it's an ongoing thing. You're ongoing learning about the situation, but I I think it's just very significant. Like, more details will come out in August, but I think you guys have just need to make sure you're paying attention to what's going on, because I do think there's going to be a lot of decommitments from this situation, because a lot of these deals will not be able to go through the clearinghouse. I don't know how specific it'll be to Carolina. I can't say. I genuinely don't know, because we don't know how this thing is going. Even Shane said it today. He was like, you got to kind of let this thing play out. But what I do know is all these deals aren't going to be able to be done. I know that much without a shadow of a doubt. All these deals aren't going to be able to be done, and so when you look at situations like that, you're going to find out like where we're going to be with that. So I would pay attention to August 1st, see how real these deals are. You're going to see some decommitments. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be some decommitments, and you're going to be like, well, this is going to be crazy. So that much I do know. Decommitments are coming.
Yeah. Yeah. No, on August 1st, I mean, you got to think about all the promises, and we've seen the way these kids have committed to different schools as quick as they have in the summertime. And a lot of these schools didn't always, for the ones that they committed to, they didn't have the lead in these recruitments. Like I said, Carter Meadows and the whole Michigan thing. I mean, that is, I, I've said what I needed to say on that. I've said my piece. I've said my piece on that whole situation. And you've got other things that are going on. It just doesn't add up. It's like, hey, this kid favorited this school all up to this date. And all of a sudden, this happens, right? There's always reasons behind it. And like you just said, a lot of promises are being made right now that I'm gonna tell you right now, they are not gonna be kept throughout the country. And as Q said, it's not just South Carolina that is gonna potentially benefit from these commit or decommits, if they're gonna benefit at all. But you are gonna see things that are gonna happen. It's gonna be an interesting day, one way or the other. One way or the other. If there are decommitments, or if there's not, because if there's not, I think a line has been drawn in the sand that people are stepping over, and any program can step over that line after that. Just call it how it is. Just call it how it is. So,
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I don't see how you're going to be able to maintain college athletics if there's no structure or rules to it. But I think it can't come from the NCAA. To be personally honest with you, I don't
Oh,
think the
I agree.
NCAA is the ones that need to give the structure, the rules.
No,
I think it needs to literally go conference by conference
I agree.
and let it go from that point.
I
That
agree.
that's how you manage that.
And
That's how you handle that.
ultimately, Q, I think that's where we're heading. I think the NCAA is going to be obsolete in a few years. And with those meetings happening at Destin, and this is why I wanted to bring Oscar Attaway in so bad on the show, but we cannot do this until that clearinghouse and all those things have been taken care of. We can't bring any, just throw that out there to let everybody know we cannot bring any current players onto this podcast until all that stuff is figured out. Just want to let y'all know that we have a bunch of guys I want to join the show, but we're kind of at a waiting status. So a lot of people have been asking. I want to go ahead and throw that out there to clear the waters. Let's go ahead and clear that up. But going back to that, Q, I mean, those conversations were happening, saying the SEC, the Big Ten, I mean, they're looking to leave the NCAA. Those things are going to happen at some point. And so it's going to be interesting. The NCAA has an opportunity to fix things up right now, but they're not going to. It's a sinking ship, and they're just going to sink with where the ship's going. It's just going to continue to sink. There's no saving it. It's done. It's done, in my
I
opinion.
think
I don't
everything
think you
just
can
depends
come
on.
back from it.
I mean, it just depends. So, is it just football that goes away? You take all your sports. I mean, everything's just dependent right now. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how it plays out. That's why I look at it. I'm curious to see how it plays out, and then we kind of just go from there. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, with the NCAA, if we get a ruling this week on Faison, I think that would be huge. It'd be the step in the right direction for Carolina. It's step in the right direction for Faison, and I think we just kind of go from there.
Yeah. So we'll see as you guys get information. As we get information, we'll let you know. But I mean, at this point, I mean, we're at a standstill, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. It's unfortunate that the NCAA has Rizal Faison and the rest of these athletes in this predicament, but it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do about it. Like I said, though, as we were on we had a space last week about what was going on in recruiting and things of that nature. Donati is also working behind the scenes trying to get these things right. Trying to get that eligibility for Faison. I mean, he's not just sitting there. A lot of people are asking the AD to do something. I promise you, he is. Donati is doing something. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you don't want to believe that, but he's doing something. I promise. Now, Q SEC Media Days. SEC Media Days. Shane Beamer, South Carolina, Lenora Sellers, all the guys were in town, in Atlanta out there in the College Football Hall of Fame. Like I said, it's a really, really cool place you haven't been. He had some things to say. He had some good things to say, and he wasn't as long-winded as he was the prior year, but he he had his moments. Shane has his moments. He has the repetitive things that he says, and it's always fun to catch that. As Gamecock Dave, I believe, was the one that did. So good stuff there. Talk about Shane. One thing Paul Feinbaum asked him today if it was doable to win the SEC. Thought it was gauzy for Paul Feinbaum to do that. Not a big Paul Feinbaum fan myself. Always really, really always had an issue with him. He was always pretty snarky towards South Carolina. But the thing about it, he said it's very doable to contend for an SEC championship. That's what Beamer said. He said he thought about having narrowly missed the playoffs, which they did, right? He believes South Carolina has all the pieces right now to compete in this tough, the toughest conference out there, right? SEC. It's the toughest conference. I don't care if Ohio State won won the national title last year. I don't care. The SEC is still the SEC. Let's call it how it is, right? So he was saying, yes, he does think South Carolina is going to do it. And I don't think that's coaches speak. And I do think South Carolina did a really good job in the portal. And I think they did a really good job in the recruiting. We talked about it here. We talked about these guys, showing up this year as freshmen contributing. You've got your guys that you believe are going to contribute early. I got my guys that I believe are going to contribute early. And we'll talk about that as we get closer to the season. We're 48 days away right now. If you're listening, live with us on Facebook, on Twitter, all that good stuff, TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, we're 47 days away, the next day on Tuesday. So I'm excited. I really am. I really am excited. He also talked about what happened with South Carolina last year, how that win streak came about, right? And he talked about those leaders, the leaders coming together, saying, "Hey, we're done losing." After that Alabama game, we were done losing. We're done here. And South Carolina put it together. And what was talked about, obviously, to the most extent, right, is Lenore Sellers. We know, we knew, we saw, we knew what was coming with Lenore's. You saw it coming with Lenore's. You just had to believe it. And now everybody and their mother have hyped up Lenore's coming into this season. But that's a cool collective guy. He knows all about all the hype, but he's going to let it fall to his shoulders. He doesn't care. Q, what are your thoughts about what Shane Beamer had to say today in the SEC Media Days and how Lenore's answered some of these questions? I mean, one of them talking about being, his role model, or he looked up to Cam Newton. He looked up to Cam. That was really cool because a lot of those comparisons are said when it comes to Lenore Sellers. But Q, tell me what you thought about SEC Media Days and bringing Lenore Sellers and the guys to Atlanta.
I mean, it was a good. I think Beamer hit the key components of the situation, and it was good. Bringing DQ Smith, Nick Barrett, and Lenore's, you're bringing your leader, and then you're also bringing guys that have stuck with you through this program and brought you to where you are today. As Shane has stated, his first class, Nick Barrett, was a part of it and stuck through the tough times, and he deserved to go. Don't disagree with that. I know a lot of people ask about Dylan Stewart, a lot of people ask about Jalen Kilgore, all those different things. I mean, Jalen may be back next year, so Jalen could go next year. Like Dylan's going to be back next year, so Dylan 9 out of 10 times will be at SEC Media Day. So you kind of got to think of all these different things and how these things play out. Um, the biggest thing I think Shane did was he appropriately addressed Paul Feinbaum. I thought it was a stupid question because no coach is going to say no. It's not doable at whatever school they're at. I don't care if I'm at um, Charlotte or if I'm at Ohio State. The answer is going to always be the same. I'm going to be able to get a championship. But Shane was emphasizing a lot of like we want championship. That's our standards. We want rings, and I think this year is huge. I look at recruiting, and I look at what I some of it I'm shocked at a little bit, and some of it I'm like it's because people still are waiting to see if this is going to be a consistent thing. Now, Shane stated today he's not a 7-5 coach. He doesn't want to be a 7-5 coach. And I respect that. That's what he said. That's where he stands with it. And I think he's right. If you want to compete with it, I mean, you're going to have to win nine games every year, at least, to be in contention. So now you're looking at this year, you're addressing this year. And I think in my mind, Shane is like, I'm trying to get there this year. And in order to get to the championship game, well, you're gonna have to finish top two in the SEC. If that's what you want to get, is a title, finish top two in the SEC. And how close was he to doing that? Well, in total, he was 5 points away from doing that. Because had he beat LSU, had he beat Alabama, only loss was Ole Miss, he would have been there. And Lenore's addressed a lot of that because Lenore's was very open and honest about that. I had to get my feet wet and understand and learn. And once I got it, I was good. Well, now you have a year of Lenore Sellers having to get it. So now he's at the point where now he gets to implement what he's learned. And now he's got to take the next step. Him saying the coaches kind of pushed me last year, now they don't have to. I'm doing it myself. That's huge because Lenore is a very quiet person, but now he understands I have to be more vocal. Well, the same thing can be said for Nick Barrett, for Keith Smith. These guys are going to be relied upon to be vocal. This team has to step up to the plate. There's a lot of questions and all the same thing for DQ Smith. He's got that, but you're going to have to step up to the plate. Team step to see how that plays out. Stepping up to the plate is is end all be all. I need to step up to the plate. That's all we got.
Yeah, yeah, and I think South Carolina's going to do it, and I do love that South Carolina bring in Lenore Sellers, and obviously with bringing Nick Barrett and DQ Smith, as you said. I mean, Nick Barrett committed to South Carolina before I believe it was Shane got there, right? So I mean, he's one of the older guys on the team. And then with DQ Smith, I mean, being another leader. So I mean, you have your two leaders from the defense coming in to really show what they can do for this team. And look, I think South Carolina is going to surprise some teams this year. I really do, and I say that, which is how are they going to surprise teams with Lenore Sellers, right? Dylan Stewart. I'm saying it from the pieces that they have on this team that a lot of people are discounting. The guys, not just Nick Harbor, but looking a little bit more of those wide receivers, man. I think you're going to get some great stuff from Van Trevius. I think you're going to get stuff from Jared Brown, Mazio Bennett. I think, and then of course the freshmen. I think people aren't thinking enough about these guys and having this development and be able to work with Coach Furry more. I just think the outside media is kind of not really looking at that, which is kind of surprising to me, honestly. It really is. When people talk about South Carolina and their strengths, they're not. They're talking about Lenore Sellers being able to expand the game, which he's going to. He did. He learned how to do it last year, but with Mike Shula, you're going to see more of getting these wide receivers to doing these different slants, right, hitting these different post routes, and I think you're going to get it from these guys this year because you have that route running packed down, right? Nick Harbor has a full off season in college football. Did I say that enough? Did I say that enough? And the
I
freshmen
think
coming in,
I think the biggest thing is the consistency piece of it. So
right?
something I didn't realize is we had 9 different combinations of starters in in the O line last year. If we can go out and we can show that consistency and gel there, um,
Yeah.
which in all honesty, having a I believe it's Thompson. To me, it should be Thompson, Baugh, Stanley, Baugh. No, I'm sorry, Thompson, Babilotti, Stanley, Baugh, and either Henry or Shivers,
Yeah,
whichever one,
I can
whichever
see that.
combo you want to go with. I think whoever you choose, that's who we roll with against Virginia Tech, and that's what we should roll with, barring injury. We have the depth behind that to make something shake if things happen, which I'm okay with that. Let's get that depth. But at the end of the day, we have to roll with some consistency, and you got some serious talent, and you need to show that you're relying and trusting on that talent because if you're able just to insert a center like Stanley, who's an elite center, and you were able to put around him the others, I think that helps. Not only does that help Lenore's, but it helps the team a lot. And I think we're at that stage because I think Tree and Baugh have to be out there and ready to go. And I think that's what this year looks like. And then you have the guys that'll be backing them up in Sharp and Newsom and uh, Nolan, who just came over. Nolan Hay, I believe, his name,
Hmm.
and Shed Surratt, who, bro, that's a
He's
tank,
coming in
man.
early. He's
That's a
coming in
tank.
early. That's a
That's a
kid from
tank.
Gaffney. He's one to watch out for, man.
He's a tank. And then Shivers or Henry, whoever. And that to me, that's 10 deep that you can go on the offensive line. And so if you're able to go 10 deep on the offensive line, do what we need to do, going to go on that, dude, we're cooking with hot grease.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got these guys who are plug and play, and I think you're going to have that with these offensive linemen. I really do. I think Lonnie Teasley, and I think they're gonna have it set up. So a successful time, at the SEC media days. Obviously the guys got all their quotes out there and asked some crazy questions. I'm sure. Hey, it's another
Time
SEC
to ball.
media days down, man. It's time. Yeah, we're SEC media days, man. That's it. That's the next hurdle, and then before you know, you're back at you're back in training and getting going, man. And hey, I know these guys are chomping at the bit. I know that. I get that. We're seeing them. They're in training now. They're not right now. They're working out. They're getting ready to start. Start practice and get going. I mean, I just you just need a couple more pieces to know where you're at. Obviously, phase on, of course, and then just see where you are injury-wise. There were a couple off-season injuries. Don't know where they sit on that. Can't speak on that. Probably won't speak on that because it's not really my place to say anything. But we'll see what happens with those. We'll see what takes place there. Taking into recruiting South Carolina. They were hoping to hear from Tamari Watkins today, and Watkins wound up choosing the Texas A&M Aggies. At one point, South Carolina was considered the favorite there, and they had him recruited at a certain position. Compared to where Texas A&M and Miami, two schools, they wanted him to play linebacker.
No, Miami wanted him at safety.
Oh, Miami wanted him at safety. Okay, so it's just A&M that wanted him at linebacker.
They were just willing to play top dollar for it.
Oh, of course.
Because they missed out on a few.
Yeah, that's the Miami way, of course, the Miami way. So, yes, and the U is still not back also. The U is still not back. Don't know when they're coming back, but they're still not back. But, yeah, so A&M was the pick for for Watkins. Not too surprised in the last 2 weeks how things have gone, so it is what it is on that part.
I'll say this to that. When it comes to recruiting, I think fans need to understand something. Just because they come to our campus don't mean they're going to be on our campus.
Sure.
Just because they're from the state doesn't mean they're going to stay in state every time.
Yeah.
You can call this a loss. That's fine. Whatever you want to call it on this. But some of the things behind the scenes, after having some conversations, good luck. That's the best way I can put this one. After some of the conversations I had, some of the things I saw, good luck. I will say this, though. I'm intrigued to see what happens when he gets out there. That's going to be a situation I'm going to follow heavy when he gets out there.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. We talked about it before we got on air. A&M already has, 2 or 3 linebackers already committed to the class?
It's got 3 of them.
Yeah, so very interesting move there. So, it is what it is. We ball. We move on. I mean, that's recruiting for you. That's recruiting for you. And August 1st.
The board's going to reset. The board's going to reset.
The board's going to reset.
Shane them going to keep grinding. You got some more. Kamari Blair is Wednesday. I think people should keep an eye on that one. Yeah. I'm intrigued by that one a lot. Landon Duckworth is Friday. Yep. And you got Barnes or Burns. I think it's Burns.
Koski Barnes, yeah.
Yeah. Barnes recruitment is the 26th, I think.
It sounds about right.
It's 20 something.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be 22nd, 23rd, but one of those two.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Koski Barnes, 6'3" DB. I'm intrigued to see what happens when it comes to him. I'm very intrigued to see how that plays out and what his ratings start looking like now that he's starting to get recruited pretty well. I want to see how this plays out because I think his game is definitely one that's intriguing that you should want. But I definitely want that. And also Darius Gray. I think Darius Gray should be addressed. I think this is an LSU South Carolina battle.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how long this one goes, what that looks like, and how we're able to handle this. Because I do know we are working pretty tough when it comes to that one.
Oh, I'm going to tell you,
do what we need to do to get him on campus.
All indications sounds like this is going to be an early national signing day pick potentially. I think we're going to get football involved with this pick before it happens. I really do. I truly believe he will be uncommitted before the LSU South Carolina game. I do believe that. I think that's where we're headed right now. So we'll see. Obviously, things can change. Obviously, this is college recruiting in a nutshell. I mean, Darius Gray could commit tomorrow for all I know, right? But from the way it seems like, there's a good chance that this kid is uncommitted even before South Carolina and LSU play each other in Baton Rouge. So we'll see. You know, we will definitely find out. So recruiting, it's not a race, it's a marathon. We say this all the time.
Correct.
You say it all the time. National Signing Day, the National Signing Day is not until February.
Correct.
Anything can happen. I mean, anything can happen. And August 1st, we keep saying August 1st. I mean, even to the season, decommits happen during the season. This is not it. No kid is signed. There's not a kid that is signed to play at a university yet in July.
Let's see what happens. Let's see who shows up on campus during game days. I mean, so much you can see.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not getting upset about recruiting in July. You're not going to see that come from me. That's insane. We have so much football to play, and you guys want to get upset now?
It's time for games to be played.
Yeah, come on. Let the games be played. Let's take it back, guys. Let's talk about it, man. Football, man. We got to play football before we get anything else, you know. So if you're upset National Signing Day, you know, okay, I get it. If you got a kid that, you know, early signs, okay, I understand you could be upset then, but come on, guys, we're in July. Nobody's signed yet.
Let's see what happens.
Nobody's signed yet. But as far as the guys that aren't leaving, I would probably go ahead and say Xavier Currents, the Twins, they're locked in as locked in can be when it comes to South Carolina. Zion as well, Zion Childs, who is now, by the way, a top 35 player in Rivals recruiting, if I'm not mistaken. So just off the 5-star territory. So congratulations to Zion. So that's really good stuff there. A lot of people are mad that South Carolina is sitting out of the top 25 in the top 300 recruiting. Once again, it's July. A commit from Landon Duckworth will change that really quick. You know, a commitment from Landon Duckworth would change that really quick. A commitment from, you know, some of those other guys, you know what I mean? There's a lot more time to go. So don't get upset about recruiting in July. Please, just don't. I get you're mad. Just chill. Chill out. Got a long ways to go. Q, baseball. There hadn't been a lot of talk about, but now the MLB draft is officially over. First of all, I want to go ahead and say congratulations to Ethan Petry. Not going to the best organization. That's okay. We congratulate him anyways because that's our guy. 49th overall to the Washington Nationals. So congratulations to Ethan for going to the Washington Nationals.
That sucks.
Yeah. Like I sent him a congratulations text and you know, it's kind of like, yeah, you know, I'm happy.
That sucks.
There
really
better teams to be drafted too, you know what I mean? The St. Louis Cardinals, the Yankees, you know what I mean? But that
sucks.
But hey, I'm happy for Ethan. He deserves it. So go up there, tear it up. You know, maybe the Nationals find gold somewhere else too, and they can put a farm system together and get going again. I don't know. That's hopeful thinking for the Nationals, I guess. But you know, we'll see on that end. And Nathan Hall, I believe, went 153 to Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations to Nathan Hall. Eli Jersenbeck, obviously, you know, his decision was already there, but he went 11th, I believe. I can't remember the team that he went to. I think it was the Cubs, actually. Yeah, because I'm a Cardinals fan. I hate the Cubs. So he went to the Cubbies out there in Chicago for Eli Jersenbeck. And then South Carolina, they have a couple guys that were supposed to make it on campus and probably not going to happen now, and that is Roop and Franklin, the two guys, Roop and Franklin. So they're not more than likely making it to South Carolina, which losing two guys that weren't going to make it on campus out of what you potentially could have lost, I think that's a win.
That's a big win.
I think that's worse, right? Yeah. And South Carolina's got a lot of talent that are on the way, you know, from the transfer portal, some of these freshmen that are coming in. I think they'll have more talent than they did this past season. I really do.
Yeah, no. And I speak strictly player-wise because y'all know how I feel about the head coach. and the pitchers coach, but player wise, we're definitely there. We're 100% there. We're gonna 100% be better than what we were last year. Um, and yes, 37. I was looking it up. Zion is 37,
Yeah.
so he's in the range.
Mhm.
Depending on his senior year, I think he can get to that status.
Agreed.
Along with Darius Gray, staying in that, getting that status as well. But back to baseball. Two high schoolers now. Noah hurt. Noah, because I thought he was going to be an elite catcher.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one hurt a little bit. It stung, but he didn't. He's not going to make it to campus. Him and it's going to be tough. Well, let me say that I don't know. I think it'll be tough for them to come to campus. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I don't know how this MLB. I don't know how this draft pool thing works either. So I'm intrigued to see how that plays out. If Noah does come to campus, that's a really that's that's honestly it's like an Ethan Petrie type situation of him getting to campus and make some things shake, especially in that catcher room. So you kind of gotta keep your eyes out for what's going on with those. But
Yeah.
none of our transfers, so that's huge.
That's big.
So that's gonna be where we're kind of like, okay, now we have a chance to kind of make some things shake.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Because
intrigued to see how that plays out.
you can't say the same for Friends of the Upstate. Backage ball kind of played a little Mark Kingston at the end there in the transfer portal, and they found out well. And I mean, one of them was a Clemson legacy. I get it. I understand why you wanted him to come to campus, but that's not going to happen with Wideman. So, uh, you know, sucks to be you, but we've been there before. So enjoy that while you can. Q, one of the closing things I want to talk about before we end the show. Netflix is coming out with an SEC football special. Have you seen the trailer for that yet?
Thing's fire, bro. Can't wait.
Yes,
August. It drops in August too, right? That one
August
drops in
5th.
August.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
August
looking
5th.
forward to that.
Yes,
100% looking forward to that.
Any given Saturday, and I'll tell you this: South Carolina is going to have ample opportunities to be on this show. And I've heard that Netflix followed them a lot of places. They followed a lot of off the field things. I think they went to Starbridge Spurs coop out there, out in the country to see how that living goes out there for Van and for Van and them out there, which are great people, the best handlers in the world. If you haven't talked to them at a game, I don't know what you're doing. You need to do yourself a favor and go talk to them. They're amazing, absolutely amazing people over there that are the Starbridge Spurs handlers. So make sure that you have conversations with them. But I can't wait to see the show. I mean, I'm
Yeah, I'm looking
psyched.
forward to it. I'm looking forward
I'm
to it.
psyched.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thoughts about EA College Football 26 now that you and I have officially played the newer version. What are your thoughts about it playing as South Carolina or just gameplay in general?
Gameplay's better. There's some defense is really hard to play. But
Stuff.
Michael Smith is actually really good on this game. Michael Smith is
Mm-hmm.
he's a monster on this game. I used Michael Smith a lot in my dynasty, and Michael Smith's a very good player on this game.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very good. The contested catches, like catching it is cool, but I just need consistency on it. So like if my guy's gonna be able to catch contested catches, like that shouldn't be an issue I run into late in the game. Maybe fatigue plays a role, so that may be something that I experience. Still trying to figure out how to run the ball because you can't really run it the way I was running it in 25. And it's not like it's got nothing to do with the running back. It's you can make way more moves in 25, and this year it's kind of like if you're not following your blockers, you're going to be in trouble. So,
Mm-hmm.
I do, and I don't like how they don't have South Carolina really updated. Like they're a good team, but they could definitely be way better if you had the actual roster on the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
got questions with that, but other than that, it's been cool.
Yeah, the official, drop is not the best when it comes to South Carolina's roster because you don't have a B row, you don't have Brian Rowe, you don't have a Jade Sellers, you don't have a Donovan Murph, you don't have a Jordan Gidron, you don't have a Lex
Got Malik
Cyrus. I
Clark.
mean, you don't
You
have
got Malik Clark.
you got Malik Clark, but that's it from that freshman wide receiver class. And then on the defense, it's the same thing. I don't think you have a Donovan Darden, if I'm not mistaken, on the
I didn't
first
see
drop.
him.
Yeah, I mean, and those guys I think are going to play a major role. I don't think Xavier Hardy's in it either yet. So I haven't started my dynasty yet. I'm waiting for this update to come out. Then I'm gonna start the dynasty. I've done the Road to Glory. I've done the Play Now, which I will say South Carolina's intro is so much better this year. It's not
Hmm.
even Not even close. And now that she can actually pick the time of day and the weather, finally, don't understand why that was left out in the first one. That makes no sense to me because you never found a night game. You'd always say, hey, I want to play the night game. Oh, well, you got to play like 12 games. You maybe find one, get one out of those. So now you can change your time and do that. So, I mean, that's fun. That's a lot of fun. But I think they did a good job with it. They did a good job with it. There's some things they could do better, but obviously it's a lot better from last year. And the soundtrack alone, I mean, my goodness. Oh my God. It's so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. And wait until they add HBCUs in this game, bro. Wait until they add those. And then you got those bands playing. Oh,
boy, bro. It's gonna be fire.
Don't hype me up. Don't get me hyped up for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fire. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. Straight going to South Carolina State.
SC State, Benedict, man. Got to bring those teams, man. It's it'll be fun, man. I can't wait till they add those. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And I don't understand why they didn't do it this year, but I think next year is probably when they'll do it.
Yeah,
I think next year's when they'll do it. And they did say, EA did say college basketball's coming back. They did make an official post about that.
Can't wait till they bring that back. That's gonna be really good.
Yeah. 2K thought they were gonna get slick with it. And what they did was an absolute joke. So they better go back to the drawing board quick if that was true. That was leaked. Which, if those who don't know, only 16 teams are going to be played in a 2K, but it was going to be like off the 2K game itself as a different.
They just want you to buy that.
Launch.
They just want you to buy 2K. I don't want that joint.
That's ridiculous. No, and more than likely, South Carolina's not going to be one of those 16 teams. I mean, just call it how it is. They weren't going to be. I don't understand how we were in that one 2K that dropped. I don't understand how that happened at all. But crazier things happen. So we'll see. I can't wait till that game drops too, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Well, Q, we're wrapping it up, man. Anything else before we end it?
No, we're good, bro. So let's see on Thursday. I think with Blair committing Wednesday, let's see what he does, and then Thursday let's come back and let's talk.
Yeah, let's do it. It should be a fun week. Sunday, I will be out at Lenore Sellers camp. He's got a camp on Sunday, so I'll be out there getting content. I'll try to get an interview or two in with him. We're going to see him working with the kids. It's going to be really cool. Debating if my son will go or not. He doesn't know yet. I was like, well, you can go work out with Lenoris and get to see how he does things. I mean, it's going to be an opportunity. So if you haven't yet, tickets are still available. I think they're around $100, but you can go on there on his Instagram and on his bio. I'll put it in my story so you can click on it on Instagram. Just but like I said, it's a really cool camp. From Lenoris himself, it's an opportunity. A lot of people want to say, "Hey, I wish I have my kid work out with him and do training." Well, guess what? You have the opportunity now. So it's going to be Sunday. It's going to be this Sunday down at the Strom over there, of the old workout facility over there, the old Strom, the gym back there. So, like I said, you want to get out there, you can get tickets now. Tickets will be sold up till the day of camp. So I would probably try to get in as quick as possible. But you have an opportunity to take the kids out there. Like I said, I think it's $99, $100, something like that. But you get a great opportunity with your child, Lenore Sellers, and working with them and skills and all that good stuff. So I'll be out there Sunday. So if you need me, I'll be baking out in the sun on Sunday morning down at the camp. So it's gonna be should be a good time, man. I'm looking forward to that, getting out there, and I appreciate the camp out actually reaching out and great stuff there. Q, let's go ahead and wrap it up. We'll be back whenever we get some news. Potentially, Thursday, if we get some information, we'll be back with you on Thursday. If not, we'll catch up Monday. Kind of go through things there. Guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in live on Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok. We appreciate y'all tuning in there, and then also listening on Apple and Spotify. The Welcome On Podcast on the Believe Network, your official South Carolina voice on the Believe Network on Apple and Spotify. Guys, we'll see you next time.
Peace.